writer's block, and writer productivity tools today on Writer Gadgets and Workflow. Hey guys, welcome back to Writer Gadgets and Workflow. Listen, I know it's been a minute, but guess what? I was going through about a writer's block. For about 2 weeks, I was almost completely shut down because the words just would not come. I got stuck. I'm in chapter 8 of my current work in progress, my current whip. And about halfway through, my brain just said, no more, not writing. No, you get no words. All your words are done. You're finished. You get no words, nothing. You get big fat nothing out of me. So I really had to go through multiple kind of practices that I have to kind of work my way through it and try to figure out what was the root of the block. Because most of the time there's a reason for the block. It may not be obvious to you, especially if you're a veteran and you've been writing for years. You may not understand what is the root, what is causing you to all of a sudden, I've been writing for 12 years. Well, all of a sudden now, can I finish a chapter? What's going on? So I have multiple tools that I use, that I run through to help, kind of work my way through it. And I'm going to share those with you today. So the first tool that I use to work my way through writer's block is decluttering my space and organizing my space in my work. Honestly, I went through maybe 2 or 3 days where I did nothing but clean. I started using that Marie Kondo system for organization. I started using it 2 years ago. If you have Netflix, watch Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. That whole show, her whole little series, she only did 1 year, but it was a life changer for me. Honestly, I thought she was going to come back for another season and she didn't. But honestly, it was a life changer for me in terms of organization. But honestly, hey, I'm busy. I work crazy hours. You guys know I have a nutty job. So sometimes things get out of order and you have to take some time and get them back into order, because if you look around and you see a bunch of chaos and everything's all crazy around you, then it's gonna impact your creativity. So my first rule for you, if you're experiencing writer's block, take a couple of days off of writing. Don't even try. Just organize. Get your work organized into folders. Get your room organized. Declutter. Throw stuff away. Even that little bit is really going to help get your creativity back in gear again. Okay. Did that work for me? Well, it kind of. After I did the kind of cleanup and everything, what I noticed was that my thinking was a little bit more clear. Now, I wasn't actually writing at that point, but I was able to think more clearly, which was kind of a step toward, getting to the point where I could actually write again. Okay. So, number 1, reorganize. Okay. Reorganize, declutter, get your space straight, take a minute, get everything organized and put where you can find it. Buy yourself baskets, places to organize things. That's what I did. I've got a lot of baskets and boxes and things, and I put things where they're supposed to be, where I need to access them. And things that help me with my writing like reference books and stuff like that. I put where they're in baskets where they're neat, but they're easily accessible, or I can just pull something out. So honestly, whatever system works for you, think about what that is though. Think about making things neat but accessible, but also being able to put them away so they're out of sight when they're not in use, so everything is not cluttered. That was a big thing for me. Okay, so do that. The second thing that helped me, honestly, I went old school. My digital recorder. Yep, I bought this for work because I have to talk with SMEs all the time, subject matter experts all the time. But honestly, for work, for writing, this is a wonder tool because sometimes the words are not going to come if you're writing. They just won't. You'll try and you'll try and you'll try to write. You put your fingers on the keyboards and the words won't come. One thing you can always do is talk to yourself, and we'll talk to yourself via the recorder. So you turn on the recorder and you just start talking your way through the problem. And eventually, you're going to talk yourself into the answer if you really kind of know. Here's how I structure my conversations with myself via here. What does the chapter need to do? Right? That's the first thing I talk about. This is XYZ is what I need to cover. In this chapter, there needs to be a Christmas party. And the reader needs to needs to come out of this chapter understanding what the reasons are for the tension between these two characters and between the character and her family. Right? Okay, now, what are the sources of tension between the characters? Blah, blah, blah. You hear me? So these are the things that I would just sit and I would just talk through with myself. And I would ask myself questions, and sometimes I would answer. Some people say that's a sign of insanity, but only if you're not a writer. So sometimes just talk it through. Just talk it through. If you're a writer, you're allowed to ask questions and answer yourself without being completely insane. Well, insane in the wrong way, okay? So get yourself a digital recorder. If you don't have a recorder and you have an iPhone, if you don't have a recorder but you have an iPhone, there's a voice memo feature in your iPhone that comes with the phone. Just use the voice feature, honestly. And what you do is just go back and transcribe your notes later. And as you type those notes, guess what? You're going to get more ideas. Things are going to become clearer. Certain things you need to throw out, go out. Some things that help things become clear. So, honestly, talking your way through your problem is going to be a big help. Number 3. Another big thing, 2 big things actually. So we're going to call these 3 and 4. I have 2 classes, very inexpensive classes, because I really don't do anything expensive. 2 very inexpensive classes that you can take on Udemy, and I'm going to show you a quick preview in a couple of minutes. But these 2 classes are going to change your whole writing life. Seriously, they changed my whole writing life. I took them initially years ago, but they are courses that I come back to repeatedly, both for tips, both to get myself back in the right mindset, to get myself back in the productivity mindset, and to keep myself on track. The 2 classes are 1, productivity hacks for writers, and the second one is conquering writer's block. 2 things that you need to do always and forever. As long as you're a writer, you need to be productive, and you got to conquer. You got to get past the writer's block so you can finish work. I'm at that point now. I had to conquer the writer's block so I could finish. So I actually went back and reviewed the Conquering Writer's Block class. So I'm going to show you a quick preview of that so you can go sign up. I'm not going to tell you any of the tips and tricks. You need to sign up and find out the tips and tricks. But I'm going to show you where it is and how to get to it. So I wanted to show you the Udemy classes that I talked about earlier. So you can see here, the website is udemy.com, Udemy, or Udemy, or Udemy. I don't know. I call it Udemy. And then what you'll do is just type in Jessica Brody, and all of her classes will come up. And the classes that I mentioned, there's plenty of other ones if you want to look at some of her other stuff. But these are the classes that I recommend. One is Productivity Hacks for Writers. I've had this class for several years, and I love this. I think it's one that every writer should take seriously. If I could afford to give one to every writer, I would give this class to every writer. I absolutely would do that. It is a must-have. And the second one I was talking about is Conquering Writer's Block, which is this one. Also a must-have class. Now, when I bought these classes, they were significantly cheaper. I'm pretty sure that between both classes, I paid like 20 or 30 bucks. So what I would say to you is that they're $99 now, but they have sales all the time. And I think I caught a Udemy sale. So what I would recommend you do, if you don't want to pay, and what I will tell you is that, is this class worth $99? 1,000%. Like, if you could afford it and wondered, is this worth it? It is. Knowing what I know today, if I had to delete my class for some reason and then pay for it again, would I pay for this class again? 100%, because you're going to come back to it all the time. So the thing is, yes, it is worth it. However, if you don't have the money to pay for this class right now, what I would recommend you do is get on the Udemy mailing list, the email list, and then when a sale comes up, buy the class. Take advantage of the sale and buy the class while it's on sale. Okay? Okay. So that is it. So 1, declutter. 2, get yourself a digital recorder. 3 and 4, the 2 classes by Jessica. We love her. I've never met her, but she's awesome and I love her classes. Number 5, okay, is I'm going to tell you, I have bought these little chalkboards. So these little chalkboards, they're called mini blackboards. They're on Amazon. It's $10.99 for a pack of 4. But you can put messages to yourself. If I'm one of those people, I respond well to visual cues, right? So one of the things I had to do with myself is really get myself out of the mindset of needing to be perfectionist Patty and writing perfect prose the first time out. That's part of what my problem was. So what I did with one of my chalkboards is I wrote crappy writer mode. And I have these messages in my various writing places to remind me wherever I'm sitting and writing that at this point in time, right now, as I am just trying to wrap up chapter 9, right? My job is to get the jumbled messes of crap in my head onto paper. And that is it. That is my only job right now. It is not to edit. It is not to go back and make things pretty. It is not to do things in order. Right now, if you saw my manuscript, you'd wonder why I write at all. Like, why does she even call herself a writer? I don't know. Carla, why do you do that? Because what you've got on that paper sucks. Why are you writing? And it's going to get better. But my job right now is to get the crappy stuff onto paper so that I can fix it up later. And that is my only job at this point. And I forgot that. Going over Jessica's class helped. And remembering, if anybody's read Bird by Bird, that's like the ultimate guide for writers. But if you've read Bird by Anne Lamott, you know she has a chapter that's called Crappy First Drafts, except for she uses the S word. And that is what I use it when I'm not on YouTube. That is what mode I'm in right now. And I have to remind myself. So if you're the kind of person that responds to visual cues, that needs the visual reminder of where you are and what you're doing, these chalkboards, $10.99 for 4. And they come with chalk. And to erase, all you need to do is like wet a little paper towel and it erases beautifully. So you don't even need a fancy eraser. This has been wonderful because I wake up and I remember when it's time to write, this is the mode I'm in. All I need to do is get the crap out of my head. That's the first thing. The second thing I use it for is to remind myself of my productivity, right? So this next one, what I do is I tell myself what chapter I'm on. And then when I finish a chapter, what I get to do is erase the old chapter and write the next chapter to show myself that I'm moving from one chapter to another. Now, I think this book has like 27 chapters, right? Now, what I should do, I just thought of it, is I should do a countdown instead, right? So instead of saying I'm on chapter 9, I should say I have, 18 chapters to go, right? And then I get to count down to 1. You can do it however you need to do it, right? Whatever works for you. But I tell myself I'm in draft mode and that this is where I am. And I know in my mind that, I've got a half a chapter left. And I know when I'm done with that, I'm moving on to chapter 10, which means I only have 17 chapters left, where I started out with 27. So I'm making progress. So, it's not happening fast or anything, but I'm getting it done. Yay. So if you need these visual cues, $10.99, I will leave the link for these down below if you want to buy these wonderful little chalkboard. And you can write your own messages on them. And you can certainly get yourself more than one pack if you need more messages around. But honestly, these things have been wonderful. Another thing that I have, it's on my desk, like right in front of my bed. So I have a couple of desks in my bedroom because sometimes you just need to switch your writing space in order for words to come. It's weird, Maybe today I can't write in here, but I can write on my chaise in my room. And maybe I can't write there, but I can write down in the kitchen. Or I can write on the breakfast bar. It's like wherever the words come and however they come, just be prepared to greet them and get them on paper however they come. But anyway, so this, if you can't read it, I know it's probably backwards, but it says, don't be a writer, be writing. So this is like the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning. And it's a reminder. Be writing. Don't be a writer. This is a big thing. Honestly, I can't tell you how many writers who have come to me and who say, yeah, Carla, I'm ready to get published. I'm on chapter 3. I'm like, really? Chapter 3? Keep writing, dude. You got some work to do. It's great to be on chapter 3. It's not great to be on chapter 3 asking how you're going to get published. It's great to be on chapter 3 asking how you're going to get through chapter 4. That's wonderful. You've got your mind in the right place. But if you're on chapter 3 talking about how you're going to get published and how some big 5 publishers going to pick you up and give you $100,000 signing bonus, not if you're not a celebrity. Not happening. Sorry. So, it's always good to remember where you are. So please, if you are one who responds to visual cues, get yourself some of these little chalkboards. I think I got this off Amazon. It was like $7 or $8. I don't know. Very cheap. It came in its own little frame and everything, but it's perfect. It's just what I need. So get those messages around you, if that's what you need. Okay. So that's like 5. So on 6, another big thing I had to do to work through my writer's block is put pen to paper. The digital paper came out, man. I'm telling you, I wrote whole chapters in this. When I was stuck, I would just sit down and start scribbling notes, and then things would come. Sometimes I would just start out by saying, I can't write today, and I don't know how I am going to get through this chapter. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden an idea would hit, and then a word led to a sentence, and a sentence led to a paragraph, and a paragraph. That's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes that's what you need to do to get there. But if you're not actually actively like trying to get something to come, that you're just sitting back thinking about, waiting for like a barrage of words to come so you can go somewhere and sit down, that's probably not going to happen for you. Seriously, you're probably going to stay blocked. You have to start the action of writing something. So the digital paper came in handy, and the other thing, of course, that came in handy is my free write. As you guys may have noticed, my free write has gone from having white keys to black keys. I swapped my white keys out. Anyway, sitting down with this tool and just sitting down and getting to write, honestly, that's how I got through this last chapter. What I did, I dictated it here. When I went to type it, I typed it here. Again, not telling everybody to go out and buy, drop $500 on a product. Whatever you got at home that will help you. Again, it could be your phone, digital recorder. It could be your phone. And then it could be your laptop where you type up the notes. It's those two for me, but whatever works for you, works for you. Okay, go for it, whatever it is. So then my last tool I'm going to tell you about today is called Trello. Okay, Trello, I actually use it it's actually, well known in the IT industry. It's called a Kanban board for Agile. And the idea behind it is to actually motivate yourself to be productive by watching your progress and being able to visually see your progress every day while you're working. So there's basically a column of tasks and a column of in progress tasks and a column of completed tasks. So as you finish a chapter and it's in progress, you move it over. And when it's finished, you move it over. Now, that's, it's very similar to my little chalkboard method, which is kind of erasing, seeing it while it's in progress and erasing it and moving to the next thing. But this actually allows you to see all of it. It allows you to see how much you've done and how much you've got left. It's a beautiful tool. So I'm going to show you a quick preview of that right now. Okay, so here is the tool that I was telling you guys about called Trello and the Kanban board, which is basically just a productivity board, okay? So you can come to the Trello website, and it's easy enough to sign up for the free version. I'm not going to go through all that here, but you just put in your email and, you validate your email, and you can come in and you can create a board. Okay. So, again, here they have plenty of templates, but I'm going to show you mine in just a moment. Okay. So they have plenty of templates where you create a board. You can set it up the way that you want to set it up. And I'll show you how I did mine right now. So here is mine. Here's my board. So basically here, what I do is I track my outline, right? And then here, I basically have a track for each of my drafts when it goes to the editor, when it's back from the editor and I review it, and then when it's completely done. So as I finish each of my chapters, and they get to the next phase and the next phase, I will move them over and over and over until they're done. Okay? And so, like for instance, right now I'm all the way up to chapter 10. So what I would do is move this over. And the beautiful thing is, I have all my chapters listed here. So I will be able to see, how productive I'm really being. So it makes me feel like I'm actually getting something done. Even doing this is like, man, I've actually done more than I thought I did. So there. So that's where I am now. How many chapters do I have left? So now I can look and see how much I have left to do. And then now I know I still got a lot of work to do because I've got second and third draft and I've got to get it to the editor. When I ship the whole book off to the editor. I'll move them all here. And then as I start reviewing them, once they come back from the editor, I will move them here one by one. And then once my edits are accepted and all that, then I'll move it to done. And I'll know I'm finished. But just looking at this board, for some people it may work, for others it may not work, right? So here, I'm going to just show you this really quickly. So within each chapter, like you can track what you're supposed to do. You can give yourself checklists. You can label it. So what I did is I labeled my character. One of my characters' name is Allie. The other one's name is Sean. So I can name my labels. I can add a due date. Now, this is important to keep you going. But what I have found is that you can add due dates here and it will notify you. But it will only notify you if you're actually in the app. Like it doesn't send you notifications like, if you have an iPhone, what I'm talking about. You get notifications from your news and all that kind of stuff all day. And so what I was expecting is that I was going to get some kind of banner on my phone to say, Carly, you're supposed to have that chapter done, but it doesn't do that. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to attempt to go back because this is really new to me. But like I said, for me, the visual cue that I have finished something, I'm actually making progress and moving something over into this line really makes me feel good about where I am and what I'm doing, and I have a deadline set for this. This is early April, and I've got like 17 chapters left, and there are how many other days in the month? 20 some odd days, 23 days left in the month. So, about a chapter a day, I'll be in pretty decent shape. So it's not impossible to meet my deadline. My deadline's actually early April, so I actually have a little bit more time than that. But so you guys get the idea. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is the home screen. So this shows you what all of your deadlines are coming up, right? And whether you hit your deadlines or you did not hit your deadlines. And this will keep you honest. So I had set, obviously, that I would be at chapter 13 by March 5th, which was a few days ago, right? I did not hit that, right? So I can't hit complete and get a green. I have to hit dismiss that I didn't do it. I'm obviously not at chapter 14 if I didn't hit 13. So I can say no. And I'm obviously not at chapter 15. What is today? The 10th. Okay. So, nope. And then, so my next so this tells me that my next deadline is on the 11th, which is tomorrow, and it is yellow, which means I am almost in the danger zone of not hitting my deadline. And tomorrow, if I don't hit it, it won't be good. And I'm not going to hit it, obviously. So I'll have to shift the timeline out a little bit, but you get the idea. This is, like I said, this is great. I mean, this is really good for somebody that writes full time, right? I do not, and when my 9 to 5 calls, I gotta answer because that pays the mortgage. But but you see, this is a great way to kind of track what you're doing. So I'm not sure that I will use these deadlines. I mean, it's kind of great as a guideline, but I definitely don't want it to be like to set me backwards, that that I become disengaged or that I become less motivated because I miss deadlines. But the key is, again, to be able to use the boards so that you can, as you complete things, you can move things over. And you can see where you are in your progress, what you have left, what you have done, what's fully complete. And you can see it in one board. So that is the Trello tool. And again, it's free. So if you guys, want to use it, and you can pick your background too. As you can see, I picked the writery background with the typewriter and stuff. But you can pick any background that you want. So it's really nice, again. And they give you a lot of features for free. So check it out if you think this may help you. Okay, that is it for today. That was Trello. And it's free to use. For the functions that we would use as writers, all the functions that you need are free. All you got to do is sign up and go to work and create your board. Okay? So please, if that works for you, get on Trello and try it out. That is going to do it for today. Please, if you like the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Ask me any questions about any tool. If you have questions about Udemy or if you have questions about Trello, please drop them below. I'm going to get to them as soon as I can. And I think in the next episode, I am going to cover another tool that has been amazing in helping me work my way through some of this worker productivity, this writer productivity and writer block issues. And it is called The Living Writer. Amazing, amazing tool. It is kind of a runner-up behind Scrivener for those writers who have been using Scrivener for years. Like me, I've been using Scrivener for years. But I ran into an issue and I started looking for another tool and I think I found it. So I'm going to talk to you about all of that in the next episode. Stay tuned. But thank you so much for joining us today. See you next time.